Hey, it's Coach Justin from Ultimate Baseball Training, and in today's video, we are busting 3 popular hitting myths so that you can become the hitter that you're truly meant to be. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. The very first myth is get extension at the point of contact, all right? I have a quick exercise I want you to do, nothing too crazy, but I want you to do this right now with me. So stand up from your couch or wherever you're at. If you're right-handed, like I am, what I want you to do is with your left hand, hold it out like this. Now with your right arm, I want you to reach across your body and your left hand should be out of reach, just barely, of your right fist, okay? So you're set up like this. Now you can relax your right hand, keep your left hand in that same spot. Now what I want you to do is I want you to punch your left hand as hard as you possibly can. Keep your left hand in that same spot. And I want you to punch as hard as you can like this, all right? And what you should notice is that you can't punch your hand very hard from this position. And what's the reasoning behind that? It's because this is at the very end of my punch, right? I've used all my energy, all my momentum at this point, and it's kind of a glancing blow at the last second. Okay, so you probably didn't punch your hand very hard there. Now what I want you to do is move your left hand closer in here like this. Now punch it as hard as you can. See how much quicker, see how much harder I'm able to punch this? Why is that? Well, let's pick up our baseball bat. Good job, by the way. Thank you for participating in that little exercise. But when you hear get extension at the point of contact, and this is what you're trying to do, you are literally wasting all of that energy that you just built up. So through your load and your stride, we're building up energy, our front heel drops, boom. The most efficient point to make contact with the baseball is somewhere here. So if I were to scoot up a little bit, somewhere here, pretty much even with my front foot out in front of the plate, that's the most efficient place to make contact. But if we were efficient here, we allow our hands to keep going, and then we get extension at the point of contact. We hit the ball like this. Not only are we hitting the top of the ball, so producing topspin, and around the ball bat path, so we're gonna roll over to short, but we've also used up all of our momentum at this point. So extension does not happen at the point of contact. Extension actually happens well after the point of contact. So if we were to go like we're swinging here, boom, I get to my point of contact, let's say I make contact there. Extension happens when I continue to gain ground with this top hand and drive through the ball. That's when extension happens, not at the point of contact. All right, let's bust another myth. Don't drop your back shoulder. How many of you have heard that before? This one we can bust relatively quickly. If you look at any successful major league hitter, at the point of contact, when they hit the ball, their back shoulder is in fact lower than their front shoulder, because that's the mechanics of a good baseball swing. So your back shoulder absolutely does drop, it definitely drops, but there is a big but, and that is the biggest thing that we want to avoid is when we start our swing, we don't want our barrel of our bat to kind of drop like this. If we drop our barrel, dump our barrel, lose our barrel, then that's not obviously a good hitting position. We're going to be, our front elbow kind of win the race, and we're going to have bat drag throughout the zone. So we really want to avoid not, dropping our back shoulder, because that's going to naturally happen when our back elbow kind of drops into this slot. We just want to make sure we don't really over dump our barrel like this or over drop our back shoulder like this and have a giant uppercut. But that's the big thing you want to avoid. But yes, in fact, hitters do have a lower back shoulder at the point of contact than their front shoulder. Really what you should do, and I've talked about this in another video, a recent video, is when you are just kind of addressing your typical stance, right? You're getting ready for the pitcher to release the pitch. Your shoulders should be flat. They should be parallel with the ground. And then when we actually go into our load and our stride, good hitters actually, when they get to this launch position, shoulders actually have a slight downward tilt. My front shoulder is actually lower than my back shoulder, ever so slightly. Not like this, but definitely not flat, or definitely not like this. We have a slight about 9-degree downward tilt. And then as we go through the rest of our swing, my back elbow drops into the slot, and at the point of contact, again, my back shoulder is dropped. It is lower than my front shoulder. So just avoid dumping that barrel, but dropping your back shoulder, having it lower at the point of contact, that's actually a good sign. It means you're mechanically locked in. All right, and the very last myth for this particular video is load your hands. How many of you guys have been told when you load, you wanna push your hands back, right? We wanna load our hands, load our hands. This is not a very natural movement. This is totally artificial. I'm totally pushing my hands back, and I'm not gonna be able to generate the whip and the bat speed that I potentially could if I did it the right way. So what is the right way? If we don't artificially load our hands, well, how do we generate any sort of separation or any sort of bat speed in the first place? Well, it comes down to what you actually do, what actually happens with elite hitter swings is pay attention to where my hands start. So if this is my stance, my hands start in this position here, what actually happens is I go into my load and my hands don't really move back at all. They might move a tiny little bit, but typically they stay in the same spot. So as I go into my gather, my weight shift back, my hands stay in the same spot. It's actually when I stride towards the pitcher that my body, I actually basically walk away from my hands. So while my hands are staying in the same spot, my body is actually moving forward this way, and it looks like I'm pushing my hands back, but really what's happening is my body's just walking away from my hands. That in combination with, if you've ever shot a bow and arrow, right? When you pull the bow and arrow back like this, with, if you're a right-handed hitter, your right arm, right? If you pull it back like this, you kind of feel that tension, that pullback in your right elbow. That's sort of the combination, that's what you want to feel. So the combination of basically your body's moving towards the pitcher, your hands are staying in the same spot, but at the same time your elbow is kind of getting drawn back a little bit, just like you're pulling back a bow, okay? So my hands are staying in the same spot, but then as I move forward, I draw them back, and that is how in this front side you're gonna feel a good lat stretch. In this back side, you're gonna feel like you're in a great launch position. Your hands are ready to rock and roll and explode on the baseball. So that's really what actually happens in the swing. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you already know what to do. Hit that like button for me. I'd really appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed to our channel yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on. We're coming out with new baseball videos every single week, and I don't want you to miss any of them. Last thing before you go, I want you to get your bat speed and your power up before the season, before tryouts come. So I put together a free bat speed boosters workout for you. It's 100% free. All you have to do is click on the link in the first comment. I'll pin that comment for you, and then you just click on that link. That page will give you all the instructions you need to grab your free bat speed boosters workout. This is going to help you improve your bat speed, improve your power, crush more doubles, and crush more home runs. So go ahead and grab that right now. As always, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you next time.